Today we watched Grown Ups to see if it's the wholesome family movie we remember it to be.
Let's jump into the sandpit.
Welcome back to the Share House. Here's the premise of Grown Ups in 30 seconds.
Grown Ups is a 2010 film starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, Chris Rock, and Rob Schneider, all of whom were childhood best friends who played basketball together. Now, 30 years later, they all reunited at the funeral of their coach, most of them now with wives and children themselves. They all end up staying at a lake house over a weekend where all of their ugly truths are revealed. And over the course of 102 minutes, they all realize they need to be better family men in their own separate ways. And they also do a bunch of goofy stuff. Some of it definitely not okay in this modern day and age, but I think it's still a wholesome movie nonetheless, man.
Well, speaking of that, let's get into some sandpit bingo.
So we got a 3x3 bingo card that you'll see on the screen now. Mac and I got different cards, and mine was filled to the brim. I don't know about yours.
I got to watch Joe just absolutely slam through it. So let's go through. You get the first bingo point.
The first bingo slot that I got was Adam Sandler has a hot wife. Like, immediately off the bat, it's like...
Every film.
Yeah. He's a rock star Hollywood agent, and here's his hot wife.
My big one was fat shaming.
Oh, yeah.
My God, here's a supercut of all the fat shaming in the movie.
See, that ass is still growing. You're a B cup now?
It's pretty much every time Kevin James gets the spotlight, there is a fat joke made about him, and it's really gross. It's like it becomes most of his character, which is so slimy.
17 burgers and 17 fries, okay? And that'll be just for me. What are you guys having?
It's just so funny that you can make a whole bingo game out of a man's full cinema catalog.
Yeah. The second one I got was party scene at the funeral wake. They were just treating it like a party.
I too had a party scene. I had one that I didn't think would be ticked, and I celebrated too hard for what is a dark moment. But joke at the expense of a short person is something you'll see in almost every Adam Sandler film.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd clock it, but then he slid in a joke at the most random part, and we had to see if he actually said the word by putting subtitles on.
Good to see midget wrestling again, though, I gotta say.
I can't believe it. The fact that that's a trope in the movies is so gross, and it really is just slipped in there.
It does not
I was
age
like,
well.
that's shocking.
Yeah, everything that Adam Sandler's a part of, even in the movie Benchwarmers, he throws in jokes at short people. Like, that's his whole bread and butter.
Hopefully we see him steer away.
Oh, Adam.
The next slot that I got, which won me bingo, was a funny animal moment.
Yeah,
there
every movie.
are loads of points in here where like animals are dying, or there was one where David Spade supposedly had sex with the dog.
Yeah, we'll get into the dark moments of the film shortly, but there's moments where they weren't good back then and they're even worse now.
And it plays off really awkward.
Yeah.
But most of all, the funny animal moments are little insects dying.
The obvious ones here, fart jokes and toilet humor, abundant. And I laughed every time.
Mostly their grandma's just farting all the time.
Yep.
And that's her entire character.
The whole character is just grandma being a little bit weird.
And
a
big
bit
toe.
funny. Yeah, and the big toe.
The big toe.
My affected area is pretty big.
I forgot to mention that literally the first scene I got was a bingo slot, was of the kids playing basketball.
Oh yeah.
So I got my basketball stamp checked.
If you're up to date with Adam Sandler, any movie he does, he tries to slot in basketball somehow. It's his life. He loves it.
So that won me bingo, the basketball hot wife and funny animal moment. But I also had a reference to boobs, of which there was plenty. Kevin James's wife, most of her character is that she still breastfeeds her 4-year-old son. And it keeps coming back constantly.
Not such a big gulp, you're gonna get a tummy ache.
It's bad because I enjoy these movies so much. But when you analyze them is when the problems start to arise.
Yeah. But I also got a Steve Buscemi cameo when they went to the water park, I think it is. And he rocks up and then he slides on the rope and he goes into the beach house and damages his body.
I'm an animal! I'm an animal! I'm an animal!
Yeah!
Get this one out!
Whatever Steve Buscemi's a part of, that man just captivates me.
So yeah, this time round, our bingo cards very abundant, very easy bingos.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
That's
Double
big for
bingo
you.
for Joel Harris. I'm the winner of this time round.
Yeah, I'll see you in the next round. I think we should get into highlights and lowlights of this film, there were plenty.
Yeah, there were plenty. I think highlights for me was I forgot how wholesome a movie it really is. It really is just about families coming together and realize they're all kind of doofuses and they all have their flaws. And they all, they chat, they get over it, they hug, they dance. It was actually really sweet in that regard.
That's the charm of every Adam Sandler film, and that's why they have so much global appeal.
Yeah.
Is that they're just so relatable. This film, there's so low stakes, but it's just so relatable to everybody. That's why they gross millions and millions, if not billions of dollars.
Yeah, they're so cozy. Like, you could just chuck it on and anyone could walk in and sit down and just be cozy by it. And I've flamed this film in particular for so long, even having not seen it for ages. And I was surprised that I was actually having a fun time.
You will have a fun time, but it is broken up with moments of, did they just say that?
Yeah.
Which is what we're going to get into now.
It brings us into the shit segment of our grown-ups review. Oh my god.
I took notes, I took timestamps.
Yeah. A surprising amount of sexual assault and references to sexual assault. It was actually really gross at points.
So it started off small with Adam Sandler putting his finger up Rob Schneider's butt hole. Which is a very 2000s prank to play on Friends, but he's not, I don't know, I'd hate if a friend did that to me. That's not cool. That's very Footy Club energies.
Exactly. Rob Schneider did not want to be touched in that moment, that's for sure.
But then it moves into Kevin James speaking about how the last time he had slept with his wife, she was not awake.
Yeah.
And that's not, like, they pass these moments off as jokes.
I know.
Super dark when people aren't laughing at it.
They said that, and then Rob Schneider came in, and it was the next scene immediately. Yeah. It was just slipped in there. It's like, why? Who is that serving? Like, it's not funny, and also it doesn't look like it's being played for humor either. It's just like, he's a whammy for no reason.
Yeah,
and a really gross one at that.
I got lucky on St. Patty's Day, but she was half asleep. And by half asleep, I mean she was asleep. She was out. Yeah, she was. Yeah.
There's a moment when David Spade's asleep on the couch and they're just messing around with him, which is funny. But then Adam Sandler says something like, "Here's mummy's boyfriend who touches you."
Yeah, and then he starts crying in his sleep as if it's like a past trauma.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
And this is like a kid's movie as well. Are we supposed to like gripe at each other's like deepest traumas? And like, no.
Oh, it's mommy's boyfriend, the one who touches you.
That's when my brain goes, this probably didn't even hold up back then, right? We've always been smarter to know that those things aren't right.
Yeah, but it's
or
also...
Were we bad back then?
Like the Kevin James sleeping with his wife. Again, this scene, it is kind of played very subtly, like Adam Sandler's kind of whispering and you can't really make out the gags they're doing because they're so like... back and forth between them. It's very like hidden in there. It's like, oh my God.
Yucky. One of the most notable that stuck around with me since I was a kid was Kevin James and Adam Sandler talking about how they would be punished if they did something that Adam Sandler's kid just did.
Yeah.
What would your father have done on Al?
That one would have been a backhand to the side of the head and possible bleeding from the ear.
Which, if played out in real life and it was just a genuine confession friend to friend, I think would be a lot darker.
Dad, can I have a gelato?
You want gelato? How about this gelato?
Like, that's something you tell your closest friends in the middle of the night while having like a deep conversation. But it's just played for comedy here.
Yeah, Dad beat me so hard across the ear I bled. That's how that should be delivered.
even you just saying that just now, I was like, oh man, Mike.
Cut the cameras. Finally, even just the Buscemi asking to touch a pregnant woman's belly. I understand that's a normalized thing. Why is that a normalized thing? Why should we be touching women's bellies when they're pregnant?
I don't think we should, yeah.
It's gross.
Especially strangers. There's no loving relationship between Steve Buscemi and Maya Rudolph's character. Like, it's just weird. They're just strangers. It's and then he touches her boob instead of her belly. It's like, that's... What are we teaching kids here?
I love babies. I love to feel them kick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We just shouldn't touch people. We just don't touch others.
Without consent, do not touch people, please.
I will say the one saving grace in this movie was that inspirational quote from Rob Schneider's wife.
In life, the first act, always exciting. The second act, that's where the depth comes in.
It was just, that's moving. And it's so truthful. You know, the first act, it's the excitement. The second act is the depth. I was like, whoa, okay, Adam Sandler, you're going from that bit to that, okay.
Yeah, that is where it shines, when it is wholesome like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually enjoyed this film more than I thought I would.
I think this will be a common trend throughout the Adam Sandler movies we watch, though, is having this wholesome, funny movie just littered with bits of, why did they write that?
Yeah, it really brings it down, despite how wholesome I found it. It's like you can't separate the two. It's like they're all part of the same movie.
Yeah. And I love these movies. I'm not here to bash Adam Sandler. I have been raised on these movies. That was my entire childhood. But they've got holes in them. Well, I'm happy to point those holes out, and there are plenty.
So I want to get into final ratings. I mean, generally, I would give it about a 5 out of 10.
5?
I give it 5. Just like it's got its bits and it's got its moments. It's a very average film in the way it's shot and acted. It's just, I'd call it an average 5 out of 10.
Okay. It makes me feel guilty that I'm about to give it a 7.5. It's such a comfort film, despite all the bits we've just been through, and that makes me look bad that I'm still rating it so highly.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you would watch it again.
I would 100% watch this again. I would also show it to friends within a share house scenario. If we would say, let's do a friendship movie night at the share house, yeah, I'd pitch Grown Ups 9 times out of 10.
Fair enough, because I think the only time I would watch it again would be in that scenario. I don't think I would suggest it, but if someone was hosting a Grown Ups movie night in my share house, of course I'm going to join in.
You'd sway the vote in the favor of Grown Ups. Like, yeah, I've seen that in so long. Or Kevin James is so funny. Finally, how did it age?
Yeah, not very well.
Yeah.
Like, there are definitely better modern comedies that are a lot cleaner and not as... just grimy, just full of, it's just got these slimy elements that just keep like poking their heads in, and it's not cool. It's not cool.
It's like a decade old now?
Yeah, it's 2010, so it's like 14 years old at the time of recording.
The funny thing is there's so many earlier works that we're going to review that I'm sure have aged even worse than this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for those.
I know, because this is a part of a larger series we're doing called The Sandpit, where we're going to review every Adam Sandler film that he stars in.
You're probably thinking, how does that relate to share house living? You need to be able to watch films within a share house, and you need to know which ones are the right ones.
And we're here to tell you.
Yeah, specifically with Adam Sandler, because I think he's the perfect share house comfort. And Joel's into real films, and I want to try and sway that.
Hey, we'll see what happens. Grab the Mikey D hat, which you can DM Mikey D Graham and buy one if you like.
You sure can, but this, we're now drawing to see what movie we watch next. Joe, I insist you do the honors.
Thank you.
Here.
We've got every Adam Sandler film stuck in this hat.
I'm going to just stipulate bar Hotel Transylvania. I refuse to put us through that.
Mikey begged me to take out Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3, but I mean, sure.
Close your eyes, go for it.
All right, I'm closing my eyes.
You can also watch this in preparation for the next time we review this, so you can leave your comments below.
All right, I've got it. I've got it.
Drum roll. Oh, come on, give us a banger. Give us a banger.
Murder Mystery.
Oh, yes! Let's go with number 1 or 2.
We're going to watch number 1.
Okay.
Truthfully, I pulled out number 2, but we're going to watch number 1.
We'll start with number 1.
I'll put 2 back in here, but yes. We're watching Murder Mystery, the Netflix Adam Sandler film.
I was watching that just the other night.
Well, we're going to watch it again next month on The Sandpit.
All right, we'll see you later. But hey, make sure to tell someone you love them today.
Bye.
Bye.